Hello, and welcome back to PalmWood Event and Conference in Fort Worth, Texas. This is episode 4 of our wedding planning video series. I should reintroduce myself. My name is Amy Shackelford. I'm the General Manager for PalmWood Event and Conference, and thank you for joining me. As you may know already, each week I will bring over 2 decades of industry experience to the table with insight to the best tips, suggestions, and strategies for planning your wedding. I hope to alleviate stress from the planning process and help elevate your planning experience. This week's theme, one of my favorites, is roaming menus. Guests know wedding trends more now than ever. Due to social media and Instagram, all of these channels have really opened up a wealth of knowledge for a typical guest to understand more that's out there for weddings. Celebrities are posting and sharing real life scenarios and situations that they find themselves in and are sharing their weddings, their baby showers, their planning process. And so we all are diving into more information just naturally through our devices. You look at TV and you see all kinds of things associated to planning weddings. Pinterest is a huge part of this. There are so many DIY projects and Pinterest opportunities that people can learn and see. And so that's really created an opening for information for everybody. But that means that the guests know too. So it's harder to create wow factor moments because guests are starting to anticipate experiences. It's harder to surprise them. It's harder to do things that will just blow their mind for the wedding. Roaming dinners are a great way to overcome this. So a roaming dinner essentially is something that is not static in the room the whole time. So this might be hors d'oeuvres being passed through the room. It might be special interactive guests or servers walking around the room with different food. And so the benefits of a roaming dinner, one, it's unique. It's not your typical plated meal that's very formal and maybe rigorous in some cases. It's not a typical buffet where everyone helps themselves. And it's not necessarily a station setup where you're going from station to station. A roaming dinner is just that. It's roaming through the room. So it creates movement. It's an authentic way to get your guest engaged with the service staff. Because of the interactiveness of a roaming dinner, typically your guests will remember those aspects more than a typical buffet station. How many weddings have you gone to and you have no idea what they served? You have no idea. While food is the #1 item on a budget and typically the most spent in any wedding, it can fall off the memory of your guest. And so unfortunately, we've got to create an opportunity for those memories to come back and it to be highlighting your food. Potential ideas for roaming dinners would include a passed hors d'oeuvre. So these are items that are passable throughout the whole evening. Different hors d'oeuvres could come through at different times. It could even be like a course where your first item is a light bite, your next one could be a salad bite, so on and so forth, to where you're getting desserts at the end of the evening and it just keeps passing through the room. And every time a server walks by, you're like, oh, what's that? Let me try it. So it creates this opportunity with people. Do not pass up the tray of sparkling wine. Red wine is always great as well. Maybe a little scary for brides in white, but if you have great service staff, you don't have to worry about that. Another idea is open pizza boxes with black tie servers. It's an oxymoron and we love it. So your guests love pizza. Who doesn't like a pizza? Vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, they love pizza. So if you've got a server in a black tie and they're passing open pizza boxes, it's just a lovely, whimsical way to serve your guests. Another thing to consider is possibly a server in a champagne gown. A what? I don't mean a color of champagne in a gown. I mean a gown that is actually holding champagne. So typically you'll have a lovely server who might be in a lovely ball gown, and outside of the ball gown there is a metal frame that she's typically wearing. It's on wheels most likely, and it looks like Cinderella's gown. And there are little slots for champagne glasses throughout the gown, and so guests walk up to the server and they help themselves to that champagne. It's an interesting twist to the typical sparkling passed opportunity. Some love it, some are so-so about it, but it is something that's interactive and your guests may not have seen before. The one that I'm most excited to talk about is one that I just saw about a year ago. And it is a company called Oysters XO, and they actually come and they shuck oysters in the room for your guest. So they walk around the room and they have the cutest little tool belt with all of their supplies. and they carry oysters with them. And so they shuck the oysters and your guests get to enjoy them right on the spot. They have all the accoutrements and it is just the cutest thing. And they stand out and your guests will remember it for forever. The great thing about roaming dinner menus is that the options are endless and they will delight guests and create a wow factor that's perfect for you. Most caterers will work with you on your preferences to create a custom item that's perfect for you and your significant other to create these roaming dinner menus that are personalized just for your reception. Please leave a comment below and tell me about your favorite roaming menu food. I'm so grateful you're spending wedding planning time with me. If I do say so myself, this is the place to be if you're creating a remarkable wedding experience. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to follow us on all of our social media. And if you're looking to tour PalmWood Event and Conference, shoot me an email at ashackelford@palmwoodevents.com. I wish you the best. Cheers.